One of the most common questions that I received all the time over my DMs in Instagram or in Facebook is that how do I underwrite a multifamily building? Remember, residential is 1 to 4 unit, commercial 5 or more. And in the commercial space, the way that we underwrite deals is a totally different world. It's a totally different game. It's not the way that we do in single family homes, like comparables and things like that. So in multifamily, what we use is the NOI, which is the net operating income divided by the cap rate, and that's where the valuation comes in. So we're going to underwrite a deal together, and this is a deal that I received the other day. And basically, this is a seller finance deal, and the seller is asking for 1.6 million. So we're going to focus on, let me use a different color. We're going to focus in on the marketing package. What's the marketing package? Basically, the information that I received from the broker, from the wholesaler, or whatever the deal source is. Then my version, we're going to stabilize the property here. What does that mean? So I take these numbers here that I but I copy paste here, and then I'm gonna subtract all those items that I think that I'm not gonna deal with if I buy this property. For example, I have seen yacht, I have seen other stuff that we don't necessarily are gonna get when we buy the property. I'm talking about expenses. So then we're going to analyze my projection or the projected numbers, and then we're going to do an offer. So basically, these are the 4 scenarios. So in this particular case, the seller is asking for 1.6 million. He's asking, the property has, 15 units, and these aren't apartments. These are rooms. So they are doing student housing or renting the room for students. The reason why we are doing a 17% down payment is because the seller financed this deal, and he's asking for $270,000, and he's offering a 30 months interest only, meaning that our loan balance is going to be $1,330,000, and he's doing that at 5%. 5.5% interest rate, which is amazing. So right now the property is generating $115,000 and then $600 in miscellaneous. So basically our effective gross income is $116,000 for 454. So then we're going to break down the expenses. So we have here contract services, gas and electric, insurance, real estate taxes, management fees. We have a number here that I don't know where the number is coming from, but he included it in the offer memorandum or the marketing package. And I have a note here because this is a question that I need to ask him, what's the number is coming from. It's not a huge amount. It's not a number that can cause a great difference at the end. But it's always, good to ask the seller where the number is coming from. So then repairs and maintenance, water and sewer. And basically my total expenses are 45 grand. So then the next step is in this case, is at the 4.5 interest rate in this case, because it's a seller finance deal. And the market cap rate in the area is 5.29, which gives us a valuation of 1.3. So if the seller is selling for 1.6 and the fair market value is 4.3, this is a good deal? Probably not. And the reason why I say probably not is because the seller is seller financing at 4% interest rate, meaning that if I get a traditional loan, I'll get a 7.5. So I'm going to be paying 3% more in interest. And basically that amount offset the amount here, if that makes sense. So probably probably makes sense in this case because term wise, because I'm getting better terms. However, I don't like the cash flow here. So if I buy the property day one, my yearly, this is yearly, cash flow is $11,000. However, when I analyze the numbers, even that the property is 100% occupied, this is not very common. So it's occupied now, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be occupied the whole year. So I added 5% vacancy rate and 2.5 concession loss because this is very common in multifamily. So I'm projecting in advance, I'm projecting those expenses. So then I'm adding here or copy pasting basically the same amount of expenses. I don't think that we're gonna the expenses here are very controlled. If that makes sense. The only thing that I added or increased a little bit, if you notice here, the insurance, it was for 5,336, which is 455% out of the gross. So I increased it a little bit. Why? Because insurance always increase in value. And the same for taxes, real estate taxes. For 12%, I increased it a little bit, only $1,000 extra. Okay, so that way I'm projecting that increase if that comes up then. However, I don't like the cash flow. The cash flow here is $473. So if I rent it by the room, which is the plan here, the seller says that we can increase the current net income, not current net income, but gross income from $700, which is actually $643 is the average monthly rent per room. He says that we can increase it at $900, which is fine. And then I added here, actually I can reduce a little bit here. Let's reduce this to 5% and 2.5. So the vacancy at that point. So here I'm gonna use path split. So if you don't know what path split is, I'm gonna drop off the link here in the description so you can know more about path split. But path split basically is the platform that I'm gonna use to advertise the property and get more tenants. And basically these are their fees. Then the contract service, gas and electric. Actually, I noticed that tenants pays this, so I can delete this. Insurance, internet, I'm gonna add internet service for them. Real estate taxes. What else? Management fees. I'm gonna hire. Well, it's property management is already there. I still need to find out where the $4,000 is coming from, but it's okay. It's not a huge amount. And then water and sewer. So I'm adding up here water and sewer. My cash flow is still low, 3,976. So I think that the only way that this deal makes sense if we pass through the water service to the tenant. Now our cash flow is going to be $37,000, which is $3,000 per month. It's not a home run, but considering that we are getting good terms, it's a good deal in that sense. However, it's not a sexy deal. The terms are sexy, but the deal itself is not sexy. So if you have any question, feel free to comment on the comments below, and I'll reply back to you immediately.